Hello everyone, welcome to CodeChef. Myself Jwala Charas, and today we are going to solve the problem which came into Starters 225. The name of the problem is all even and the problem code is all-eve. The difficulty rating of the problem is cakewalk and the prerequisite is ad hoc. Let's start with reading the problem statement over here. So guys, problem says there are n numbers written on a blackboard. These n values are denoted a1, a2 till a of n from left to right. You can modify the blackboard using the following three-step procedure as long as n is greater than or equal to 2. First, add a of n to a of n minus 1, then erase a of n from the blackboard. Finally, reduce n by 1. In simpler words, you can add the last value to the second last value, then erase the last value from the blackboard. You like even numbers, so you would like to know it is possible to repeatedly perform this three-step procedure several times, possibly 0 times, so that eventually there are only even numbers written on the blackboard. Input format. The first line of input will contain a single integer t denoting the number of test cases. Each test case consists of two lines of input. The first line of each test case contains a single integer n, the initial number of values on the blackboard. The second line n space separate integers a1, a2 till a of n, the values on the blackboard. Output format for each test case. Output on a new line. The answer either yes or no, depending on whether it is possible to make every value on the blackboard even or not. Constraints for t less from 1 to 100, for n less from 2 to 100, for a of I less from 1 to a of I to 100. So guys, now let's understand the sample test case in the question more precisely over here. So guys, this question is very straightforward. It says that there are n numbers written on a blackboard from left to right, okay, and we can modify that number eventually if that n is greater, if that length of the array is greater than or equal to 2, right? So what we can do, we can perform these operations. Basically, we can first add a of n to a of n minus 1, then we can erase the last element, then reduce the n by 1. So in simpler words, we can add the last value to the second last value, then erase the last value from the blackboard, okay. And we like even numbers, so we would like to know that is it possible to repeatedly perform this three-step procedure several times so that eventually there are only even numbers. So after following this operation, is it possible that in the array only even numbers are left? So if it is possible, then we will print yes, other case we will print no. Okay, now let's take the first test case. The first test case, we have got an array of like 3 elements are 2 1 1. So initially we have got this array, so we can perform operation since which adds a3 to a2, right? So this is, let's say, a1 a2 and a3, then deletes a2. So basically we perform this operation, so this will become 2 and 2, right? We will add this to last to the second last element and remove the last element, so the array will become like this. So yes, it is possible by doing this operation. So output is simply yes. So guys, I think the test cases are pretty much clear. Now let's move to a simple solution. Performing the operation n minus 1 times will result in us having a single integer at which no more operation can be performed. This leads to a simple direct solution. Just keep trying to perform the given operation after each one of the if remaining element is even. The complexity of this is O of n square. For a smarter solution, observe that the total sum of the element is not changed by other operations. So if the total sum is even, the answer is yes. We can keep performing the operation till there is one element left, which will be the sum of everything and hence even. If the total sum is odd, the answer is no, because if we were able to have only even number, their sum must be even too, which is possibly impossible when total sum is odd. This gives a solution O of n. Just check if the sum of A is even or odd. So guys, I think the solution is pretty much clear. Now let's move towards the simple C++ code. So guys, as you can see, this is the simple C++ code. I took the input for all the test cases as well as n. I initialize sum equal to 0. I will run a for loop and initialize x, take an input for x and take the sum of the array. Okay. Like over here I'm checking if sum of modulo 2 equal to 0, I will simply print yes, other case I will simply print no. And as you can see that guys, I have got my C++ code right. Now let's move toward my Python code. So guys, this is my similar Python code. I took the input for all the test cases as well as n and a. If checking if sum of a of modulo 2 is equal to 0, I will print yes, in other case I will simply print no. And as you can see that guys, I have got my Python code as well as right. So guys, I think the solution, the code and the approach is pretty much clear. Now let's meet in the next video. Thank you so much guys for watching our videos.